Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Appreciate it, y'all, man. I appreciate all the well wishes. I feel like I'm getting better. I feel like I'm, getting my strength back, But I appreciate all the love, man, and all the support, all the well wishes. I definitely appreciate it. I definitely feel it. It's well received. Boom, boom, send it right back at you. I don't know what made me decide to do this video, man, but it's something about it that I was talking about today, as always, that made me decide that I want to go ahead on and try to, share this with y'all, man. And I don't know, I guess about y'all know about the title, what I'm getting ready to talk about. I'm going to try to keep it as PG as possible and just to explain to y'all a little bit about how the system is and how the system works, and especially when it comes to, the administration and the people that work in the administration, and especially more so the women that work in the administration. And when I tell you, they got some freaks that work in the administrative system, within the DOC system, the Department of Corrections. From the beginning, they always had them in there. They always there, And I don't know, in my mind, I psychoanalyze it or whatever. I always feel like some of them are such freaks or such out there that I feel like they came there for that alone, because of the fact that we locked up, that, we in a submissive position and they're in a power position. So they hold all the cards. So more or less, they can do what they want to do, and because they always got the advantage. If they make advances on you or whatnot and you deny them, they can always turn it around and spin it and have you in the trick bag, or they can just simply deny whatever you're saying, because whatever you say anyway is not going to count against whatever they say, because they work for the system, and they're never going to believe that their people is wrong. They always going to say they're right no matter what. Your word is just like what you are in the penitentiary when you are in the penitentiary. A big fat zero. A big fat zero. They don't care nothing about what you say, and especially when you saying something about one of theirs, So, yeah, man, but I just can remember, all over the system, man, you run into certain type of women that, have an agenda, and it doesn't even matter what they are, whether it be a CO, a counselor, a nurse, a doctor, a psychologist, a warden. It doesn't matter. They come in all shapes and form, and as I told y'all before, they brainwash when they come in, telling them, the inmates are all this, they all that, blah, 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 don't listen to nothing they say, da, 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 da. But like I say, they already got their own agenda, and they do what they want to do, when they want to do it, and how they want to do it, and just hope that they get away with it. But I also told y'all that one of the hardest things to do in the world, man, is to get somebody fired from the DOC. They literally have to be caught in the act to get fired from the DOC. I remember a captain told me that. I spoke about that in a video before. He told me that. He said, man, you can say whatever you want against an officer or somebody that work for the administration. If you can't prove it or they don't get caught in the act, it's almost impossible to, prove them wrong or to get them, fired or anything like that, which is crazy. But it's like they God when they in there, and basically they are, because we just peons, This, I told y'all, it's the only job in the world that you go to, first day on the job, you're a boss. You're a boss, because even if you answer to your supervisors and them in the hierarchy, us as inmates and convicts, we still on the lower end of the totem pole. So no matter what, we always gonna be told what to do. We always gonna be, as they say, the stuff runs downhill. We always gonna be at the bottom of the hill. So we always gonna catch everything anyway. So it doesn't even matter, man. But yeah, I'm trying to think of some of the people that I have met and ran across, man. I started at Mecklenburg, man. I remember at Mecklenburg, man. This is a crazy story, man. So y'all just, I'm gonna try to word this thing right. But yeah, I remember at Mecklenburg, and as y'all know, if y'all been watching my channel, y'all already know about, the gunning game, the gunning game. And what I mean by the gunning game is that's when dudes, usually masturbate in front of a female, be it she a counselor, a CO, or administrative, a secretary, whatever. There's always going to be a time and point where they are around you and dudes will, expose themselves or masturbate in front of a female. Now, to the people that's listening out there in the free world, I know that sounds crazy, and it is crazy. But we living in a crazy world, and you're dealing with dudes that are sexually frustrated and don't have companionship, and that's where their mind is going. But what's even more crazy than that is you actually have women who like it, and you actually have women who look for it. You actually have women who ask for it. You know what I'm saying? And that is real. That is 100%. And you have women on the other end of the spectrum too. I don't want to say that they just think it's disgusting and will write you up or get you locked up anytime that you even attempt to do something like that. But like I said, you may have even more of those than you do the ones that just like it and the ones that's into it. But you definitely have both sides of the spectrum. But I can remember being on Mecklenburg, man, and when I was on Mecklenburg, a lot of dudes was going to see the psychologist, right? And I'm thinking, that's something that's like taboo. That's something they look down on, like, man, this dude crazy, this dude trying to get on medication or stuff like that. We look at those type of dudes, we look really like frown on them, like, man, what are you doing, man? You crazy, man? You losing your mind? This don't taking advantage of you or whatever. And I can remember being on Mecklenburg, man, and a lot of dudes had signed up going to psychologists, man. They going to see psychologists. So then I found out who the psychologist was. I seen him, and the psychologist was like a white lady, but she was like probably in her late 50s, early 60s. And she was not a bad looking woman, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of dudes was going to see her, and in the penitentiary, it's just like anywhere else, word spread. And then I remember thinking to myself, seeing so many dudes signed up to go see the psychologist, I was thinking, these dudes is tripping, man. These dudes losing their mind. But then the word got around to me and got to talking, and it came back to me. They were saying that dudes was going over there to see the psychologist because she was a freak, right? So I'm like, well, what you mean freak? And they was like, boom, this is what the play was. Dudes was going over there to see psychologists, running their spiel down to her. I'm not even gonna say her name. I shouldn't have even said the institution. So I already said too much. But this was back in the day. She probably long gone and far gone. But I can remember, man, dudes was talking about it and they was saying like, look, man, you go over there and you actually see her. You talk to her, she want to know what your problem is, what you're going through, whatever. She's trying to help you. You know what I'm saying? But dudes was going over there and telling them that, they locked up. They've been locked up for this amount of time. They got X amount of time left. They, they're without a woman. They sexually frustrated. Every time they see a woman, they start to masturbate. They have gotten charges for masturbating. They, just can't stop it because they're without a woman. And when they see a woman and smell perfume, see the way they dress, see the femininity, it just overwhelms them. And they feel compelled to masturbate, right? So they was going over there and telling the psychologist this, and the psychologist was listening to him like, woo. Now, mind you, when you go see the psychologist, you actually have privacy because this is a profession and this is professional. So she has her own office. You're in the office with the door closed, and you're just talking to her one-on-one. So they were saying that when you go over there and tell this particular psychologist this, she would listen to you and nod her head and keep notes or whatever. And then she was saying like, well, what makes you, ask you questions like, well, what makes you feel like you have to do that? Or what satisfaction do you get out of doing that? Or does that help your cause? Does that make you feel better? Do you feel, like you're in a better space after you do such and such and such? And dudes was like, yeah. So they was like, she might ask you, well, is this all females? Do this make you feel like this whenever you see a female? Or is it particular females or whatever? And you be like, go along with the conversation. But all the time what they lead up to is, at the end, she would say, well, I'm a female and you're in here now. Do you feel like that's something that's, calling you to do? And the dude would automatically say yes. And she would say, well, proceed. She would tell them to proceed. So dudes would actually, expose themselves sitting in her office and masturbate, talking to her, and she would be asking you, well, what does that make you feel like? Does that make you feel like that now you are feeling better, now that you are relieved, now and talk to her, and they would just ask, and she would be right there across from the desk from them. And man, once dudes got word of that, the line for the psychologist got like this. You know what I'm saying? So now everybody's on there. So now it looks funny, it looks suspicious, it looks strange, and that's what's going on. So I can remember her, and I was thinking in my mind, I was young, I'm fresh in my bit now. You mind you, I'm on Mecklenburg. I ain't been locked up but a couple of years. So I'm like, man, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it was going on for a while, and as always, dudes get to talking, get to running their mouth, and it starts spreading and spreading. So now the list is getting longer. More people is signing up to go. And it's just like crazy. Now, I try to psychoanalyze and say to myself, is she really getting off on this? Is she really like this? Or is she really trying to help the people? But being that her list in clients is getting so long, I was compelled to believe she's getting something out of it. You know what I'm saying? Definitely they getting something out of it, because dudes is forgot and don't even care about the stigma of people gonna think you crazy or people gonna think you losing your mind. They don't even care. They signing up by the boatload. I'm trying to see psychologists, man. I got problems. I need to talk to psychologists. And they all going over there, right? So it was crazy, man. But like I say, as always in the penitentiary, just like in real life, man, dudes run their mouth too much and loose lips sink ships. You understand me? And it got out, and that the administration got wind of it, and then they started looking at her as if like, why we got all these people coming over here now? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? And maybe it's a jealous dude. Maybe it's one of them old Bammers that don't know how to keep their mouth closed. They done put the bug in the ear of the administration. So now they watching her. Now I don't know how they can determine what she's doing or whether it's true or anything like that. But I do remember it coming to an abrupt end, man. I do remember that. And they was like investigating her, and they put her on suspension or whatever. And, I don't know what you would call it, unethical practices or whatever. And man, all these dudes is just stuck now. Now they sad, now they got nowhere to get their freak off, nowhere that they feel, it was crazy. It was just like mind blowing to me, because I was so young in my bit, and I'm looking at all this stuff and I'm trying to process it. I'm like, man, I'm in a crazy world. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a crazy world. Little do I know, as time would go on and I would be locked up even longer, this is like normality in prison. You know what I'm saying? This is normality. People have, this is the new normal. So it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But this is the type of stuff that be going on in it. And this type of person got a professional job. But this is what they doing, And whether or not she can justify it or whether or not this was, I don't know. But I do remember though, she eventually either left, resigned and went to another place or whatever. But I do know it had the compound and all them dudes mad as I don't know what. Yeah, dudes was, that's considered a bonus in there, man. That was a good thing, because like I say, They had an outlet. They had somewhere to, you know what I'm saying, to get that off of their chest and to be in the presence of a female while you're doing it at the same time. It was like, you know what I'm saying, a win-win situation for them. But like I said, it all came to an end, you know what I'm saying, abruptly because of loose lips and people talking about it. But like I say, this was a prelude to what was to come. And what was to come was that females in the administration or working in the DOC, be it their CO or whatever position they have, they will always have the advantage to do whatever they want to do. They can always pick and choose who they like. They can always pick and choose who they're associated with because they have that power. Because like I say, when you come in the DOC, you automatically a boss. You know what I'm saying? No matter what your title is, you're a boss. Because if you're not a boss over nobody else, you're a boss over the inmates. You're a boss over the convicts. Because you can always tell them what to do, and you're always going to have the administration on your side. So they took cold advantage of that. So when you look at it, you can say, well, is the dudes wrong or is she wrong? You see what I'm saying? It's a catch-22. Because everybody is doing something for their own agenda and for their own reason. You know, and like I say, I could be wrong. I'm prepared to believe she liked it and she got something out of it. You know what I'm saying? I know they did because that's why they was lined up to go over there. Like, you know, they had a Jordan convention or something. There was some new Jordans coming out or whatever. Dudes was lined up to go see her, man. Her clientele got so long, man, that it was just a matter of time. Just like everything else in the penitentiary, it's gonna come to an end. Yeah, nothing lasts forever in the penitentiary. Nothing lasts forever in life. This, you know, this like that. But yeah, that became a theme, man, all over the system. Everywhere I went is no compound. Zero compounds that I went on that didn't have a certain number of people on there that you would consider to be freaks. They worked for the DOC. You know, they did what they wanted to do under the radar, and I always felt like the administration got to know. You know what I'm saying? They got to know, you know what I'm saying, that this is what's going on. But they always seemed like they didn't, because at the same time, DOC is always in high demand for people to work there. You know, because a lot of people don't want to work there because of the stigma of its prison. But, man, females be all over the Virginia DOC. All over. Counselors, secretaries, COs. You may have just as many female COs as you have male COs. You see what I'm saying? Just as many. So yeah, it was a running thing, man, and they always point them out. They always know who the freaks are on the compound. You get on the compound, as soon as you go on the compound, they'll tell you, oh, man, who the freaks on here? Oh, CO such and such, and CO such and such, or counselor this, or counselor that, secretary this. They tell you, you know what I'm saying? They got a name in the penitentiary. We say, oh, she a beast. You know what I'm saying? That means more or less that if she a beast, then she'll, you know, she with the program. You know, she with the program. Whatever you want to do, she with it. You know what I'm saying? And you have those on the compounds, on every compound that you go on. You're going to have a certain amount of those people. And they're going to be known to the masses, the inmates, you know, which always led me to believe, like I said, there's no way the administration can't know. There's no way some male officers don't know. Because dudes always run their mouth. You know, dudes always run their mouth, man. I can remember leaving Mecklenburg. I went to Greensville, same thing. You know, when you get there, you know who's who. They tell you, oh yeah, she right. Oh yeah, she a beast. Boom, boom, boom. It's just universal. It's just like common knowledge is passed around all over the system. Greensville was no different. Greensville was wide open. I can name counselors, officers, secretaries, all of them. They with the business. They with the business. You know what I'm saying? You have females that would actually come to your cell, and counselors who would come to your cell and just stand in front of your cell, and you are behind the door. No one else can see you but them. And they would tell you to get naked and to do whatever you wanted to do. And they would just stand there and act like they're doing paperwork and just watch you. And just watch you. You know, now that may sound crazy, like I say, to y'all out there who have not been incarcerated, who have not been in the belly of the beast, who have not been in this type of system. But to dudes that's in there, it's like a dream, because they are without a woman. They are without compassion. They are without intimacy. They are without, all of these things that they want, that they desire, and to have that will substitute what they missing. And you got dudes in there, they freaked out too, man. You got dudes in there that's so freaked out, that's all they do every day. That's their whole agenda, is to find a freak on the compound. Even if they ain't in their building, you got dudes that go to other buildings because they heard a freak is in that building. They'll go to the other building at risk of getting unauthorized area charge or something like that, or at risk of getting locked up just because they know a freak is working in the building that day. You know what I'm saying? It's an insane world. You know what I'm saying? Period. There's no other way around to call it. And once you when you're in the insanity, to some point, a common thinking person will know you're in the insanity. But not until you're removed from the insanity like I was, not until you are removed from it can you clearly see that, man, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? As it might be, as y'all listen to, it was crazy. But it was everyday life in the penitentiary. Everyday life. You have females that would get in that booth and you got showers on this side and you got showers on that side. And you got females that get up there and if they see you doing anything that they feel like out of the ordinary, because they can actually see in the showers, which is crazy within itself. But if they see you doing anything or look like you're looking at them or making eye contact with them, they'll get you crossed up. They'll write you a charge or they'll get you locked up. But on the other spectrum, you got women that'll get in there and they will stare you down like, like you were an exam or you a test or something. Just watch you and employ you to do whatever it is that you wanted to do while they just sit there and watch. You know what I'm saying? So it was different. And then, like I say, you always at their mercy because they can watch you, him, and then the third man can get in there or the next man can get in there and they feel disgusted and get him crossed up and locked up. And get him crossed up and locked up, but yet you can just sit there and watch all these other people, you know. I can remember too one time, man, as a matter of fact, being on Mecklenburg. And as I told y'all, Mecklenburg only is housed, it was the worst of the worst. So they only housed 12 people in a block. The blocks were small, 6 on the top and 6 on the bottom. I can remember one day they put a freak up in the booth and she working up in the booth and everybody on Mecklenburg had a single cell. So she was working in the booth for the first time over there, but dudes had heard that she was a freak. So some dude go up there and talk to her and try to get her into, pull it out of her to, get her to expose her hand and how she act or whatever. And he said he wanted to, to gun her, masturbate or whatever. She told him, yeah. She actually told him after he did it, another dude came and asked. So then she, I guess she felt nervous and didn't know what to do. So at the same time, she was with it. So she actually told him, yeah, you can do it if you get everybody else to do it too, because that way I won't have to worry about nobody telling on me. So he was shocked, you know what I'm saying? Because it was crazy. She was like, what? She said, yeah, every one of them, they can take turns or whatever, but that way I ain't got to worry about nobody telling them. So this dude actually went from cell to cell asking dudes to go gun the bra so he can gun the bra so everybody can feel safe. I can remember I was in my cell, man, sleeping. The dude come knocking on my door trying to tell me, he said, man, get up, man, let me holler at you. I'm like, what's up? I come to the door, he telling me, yo, man, they got a freak in the booth. Man, dudes is burning her up. They gunning her. She said, everybody can gun her. You know what I'm saying? She said, but she want everybody to do it because she's scared somebody gonna tell her. And I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy, And at the time, I definitely wasn't with it because I couldn't stand the pressure. And I'm like, man, nah. And he was like, come on, man, she ain't gonna do it. Let's everybody do it, woo. And it was crazy because you had some white dudes in there, they weren't with it. You had some other dudes in there, they might be Christians or something, they weren't with it. So I don't know how they worked it out, man, but he ended up getting her to let him do it and had a couple of more dudes do it. And she just sat there watching everything that's going on and enjoyed it and ain't say nothing, won't no charges with. When the shift was over, man, dudes just running around talking, man, that was crazy, man. Oh, she was like this or she was like that, man. That girl's a freak, woo. And you got them like that all over the system. all over the system. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I went to Sussex 2. And anybody that was on Sussex 2 may know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to call this person's name, but it was a female officer. And she might have been like in her 40s. I would just say her name is Miss C. You know, Miss C. And man, they talked about her. I heard her name from within the first couple of days I was on the compound. Everybody was talking about how much she a freak she is, and this and that and the third. And all you got to do is go holler at her. And if she work your booth or she work your floor, all you got to do is go holler at her, and she will let you do whatever. As long as you don't touch her. She just ain't want you to put your hands on her. But she would literally isolate herself with you, or take you in the office, or take you somewhere where only was you and her, and let you masturbate. And she would sit there and watch you, and she would just tell you, just don't touch her, and just don't get it on her. And when you finish, she would actually give you napkins and everything and tell you to clean yourself up, you know. And dudes was going in and out of the office, just taking turns. And she would just sit there just as calm and cool and collected. And these dudes are actually exposing themselves in front of her back to back to back to back. And then she would actually tell you out of her own mouth, now this is her philosophy. Oh, well, I got a husband at home and I don't want none of y'all, but I understand the pressure that y'all under, so I just try to help and do my part. Just don't get me in no trouble and just don't put your hands on me, you know. And that was it. That's like to a dude's ear, this locked up, and this without a woman. That's like, you know, music to his ears. He's just like euphoria. He was like, what? You know, and she actually was not a bad-looking woman, physically built nice and everything. But this is the reality of prison. This is the insanity. You had dudes that was fighting, get the rumbling because they wanted to go, oh, you was in there too long, man. You know she get ready to get off. You know the shift get ready to change. And they rumbling and fighting because they mad because they didn't get an opportunity to see her. They didn't get an opportunity to do what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the psycho kind of dudes. They're going there knowing this woman is freaked out and let all these people do it. They're going there and she let them do it. Now he fall in love with it because he think, well, I don't want nobody else to do it, or I don't think you should be doing this, or let me tell. And he trying to make him his girl. He trying to pull her. It's crazy. It is a crazy scene, man. This is penitentiary. This is, you know. The world that we live in is so much different from the outside world, man. The things that we learn to accept, the things, but on the inside it's like normal everyday life. It's just like everyday life. This goes on every day in the penitentiary, all over every prison. You have women in there, multiple women, multiple. You know, that's just their agenda. I've seen women come in there with the agenda just to find a man, you know, just to find a man, and they don't even want the job. They don't even want to be there. They don't even want to stay there. They just basically interviewing dudes till they can find the one that they like, and they lock in on them, give them their information, start a conversation with them, start a relationship with them, and then once they feel like the relationship is solidified, then they gone. They quit and try to, you know, come see the dude. And they know they're not going to be able to come see him because they work for that institution in that system. So the dude will get locked up, he'll get transferred to another institution, and she'll go and apply to come see him, and she'll get approved, and there they go. And there they go. That's how it works. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. All over the system. All over the system. But the thing about it is, like I say, you are forever at their mercy because they can always flip on you, and you're going to be the one in the wrong. You're going to be the one with the charge. You're going to be the one that, you know, possibly even get taken to court for, you know, making advances on the officer, you know. So it's a dangerous game, man. It's a very, very dangerous game where you hold no cards and they hold all the cards. All the cards, you know. And there's nowhere in the world, man, that anybody can convince me that you have these type of women on the compound, multiple women's like this on the compound, and administration is not hip to it. There's no way. I always felt like they know, and they just don't care because they need bodies, they need officers, and not until them people get out of hand or get caught up in something did they even acknowledge that they know or either try to do something about it, you know. But that's the game, man. That's the game, man. It's them freaks in the penitentiary, man. It is freaks in the penitentiary. Believe that, you know. And it don't stop, you know. Like you say, I went in '87. And these are just a few stories that I told y'all. I got many more. You know, this is, you know, many more. But that's '87. And I'm telling y'all a little few things happened. All the way until I'm getting ready to get out of the penitentiary, you know, in 2020, you know, leaving Nottoway, you know, on Nottoway, trying to make parole, you know, ended up making parole. On Nottoway, it's still going on. Still going on. Even there, you got women that will actually, once you get on the compound, it's the same routine. 30-some years later, it's still going on. You can come on the compound and they say, well, man, who the freaks on this? Boom, 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 boom. They start rattling off names. Oh, in this building, you got such and such. In this building, you got such and such. They in every building. And they already known. And how can all these people be networking and knowing who these people is, and the administration don't know who these people is? You see what I'm saying? But they everywhere. And you got bold, man. These women are super bold. They would come to your cell and knock on your door and call you to the door as if you're getting ready to get some mail, or they get ready to do something professional, tell you, and then you get to the door and they'll tell you, say, well, back up. And you back up a little bit and they say, let me see it. You like, see what? Yeah, let me see it. Go ahead. Was you scared? You know? So it's crazy. It's crazy. And I know, like I say, most of y'all out there that listen to me haven't been locked up before. So y'all probably sitting out here like, what? Yeah. This is what's going on up in there. This is what's going on up in there, all over the compound. And like I say, it's the way the system is. You know, because these women know that they got a power position and they use it to their advantage. And these dudes are without love, and they're without emotion, and they're without intimacy, and they use that to their advantage. But then you have certain ones, like I say, they will be so obsessed with the situation, and they will fall in love with the woman. They'll start stalking the woman. They'll start pressing the woman. And then that woman in turn will turn around and get them locked up and get them crossed up. Then that dude, if he's a Bama, and there's plenty of them, he may go to the whole and say, man, she a freak, she be doing this, and he tell on her. And then the whole thing is blowed up. So it's a catch-22, man. It's a catch-22. But it goes down in the penitentiary, man. It goes down in the penitentiary. You know, and then you have the few, which is fewer than the ones that's like that will actually, you know, facilitate a way for you to get to them, for you can actually have sexual encounters with them. You know what I'm saying? Man, I can remember, man, and dudes would do anything to get that. You know what I'm saying? I can remember being on compounds with dudes and they have struck up a relationship or a rapport with a woman that works in a whole nother building. And they would find a dude in that building and tell him, man, look, man, switch sales with me, man. You know, and I'm not talking about actually trading sales, actually going to the administration and getting switched out. No, switch sales with me tonight, man. Come to my building, I come to your building, and I'm gonna go in your cell, you go in my cell. So when they count, just have your back turned and they don't know who you are. And I just want to be down there because Shawty working down there tonight. I'm gonna pay you. And they'll come up with a payment plan and pay each other, whatever. And dudes will take that chance on doing it. And if you get caught doing that, you getting an escape charge. That's a street charge. That's when you get more time. But do you think that stopped these dudes for the potential that they might can do something freaky with a woman? No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I knew plenty of that, you know what I'm saying, going on. Because the female would get looked at suspicious if she asks to be in a specific building. She asks to be in a specific spot. So she can't. But dudes will compensate. They'll find a way to get to her. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they know she with it. Especially if they didn't already strike up a relationship with her, rapport with her. Look, if I come down there tonight, you know, da 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 da, and there it is. Whoop, there it is. Yes. Man, it's crazy, man. And I know this story is crazy, but I just wanted to keep y'all abreast. This is just penitentiary stuff. This is what goes on in there. But like I say, you still have to be aware, because everything that I told you, if you're in the position of an inmate or a convict, that sounds good to you because you can interact with a woman. You can't do that in prison. You don't have a feminine touch. You don't have the smell. You don't have that. So anytime an inmate or somebody that's incarcerated or removed from society can get that, that's a plus for them. And they'll take it how they can get it. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's still risk involved. Because like I told you, just as many dudes that do that, and just as many dudes who get away with it, just as many dudes who ended up getting with a female. I know dudes that end up marrying officers and still together to this day. And it worked out for them, but that's few. That's very few. I know dudes that have gotten locked up and the women have turned on them and crossed and they won't do nothing with him. He was pressing them. And they was actually in a relationship. You know, it goes all kinds of ways. But you are always the one at risk. So you always have to make a conscious decision and not think with your brain and not think with something else, because you can always get late. And if you already late and you say you ain't got nothing to lose, then you already done lost your mind, because you always got something to lose. You're breathing and you don't have your freedom, so you always got something else to lose. You can stay in there for the rest of your life or you can lose your life. You see what I'm saying? You always got something to lose if you're breathing, So like I say, man, there's a lesson in every, there's a blessing in every lesson, man. And you have to be conscious, man. The blessing is that, dudes will figure it out in the end. You will figure it out if you're a thinking man. If you're not a thinking man, you're not going to figure it out. And you're going to go through a lot of changes. But it's always dangerous, man, when you're dealing with that new. You cannot let your desires and your wants override reality. Your goal in prison is to get out of prison and to get out of prison alive. Now, you gonna want that? Yeah, you're gonna want things when you're in prison, especially a woman. That's probably gonna be at the top of the list. But at the same time, at what cost? If it's gonna cost you to stay in prison even longer, is it worth it? Is it worth it? No. You know what I'm saying? No. Because if you got to stay one more day in prison, that could be the one day that you get killed. That could be the one day that you kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, no, if you could cut your time down, from being in prison any way possible, that's what you need to be trying to do. That's exactly what you need to be trying to do. Because anything else is unthinkable, man. It's unthinkable to stay in prison a little longer because you want to get some sex with a woman or you want to freak off with a woman, when you can actually get out of prison sooner and be on the street and do all you want to do without worrying about getting in trouble, as long as it's consensual. Come on, man. It don't add up. But like I said, when you're under pressure, you have to learn how to think under pressure. A lot of dudes don't figure out how to think under pressure. A lot of dudes don't figure out how to survive and to do what's right for him instead of what he want to do. A lot of dudes don't figure that out, man. A lot of dudes don't figure that out. And I thank God that I did, because like I say, I'm a man. I had desires like everybody else. I'm a man. I have thoughts like everybody else. But at the same time, I wanted my freedom, and I've always been a thinker. I've always been an analyzer. And I know that everything that look good ain't good. You know what I'm saying? All glitter ain't gold. Every eye closed ain't sleep. And so on and so forth. You have to know these things. You have to learn these things, man. And a lot of dudes learned it the hard way, and they were sacrificed because of the position that the officer, secretary, counselor, whoever was in, they were sacrificed, and they got crossed up and looked at it a certain way and had a certain tag put on their name as if they did something wrong, when all they did was what was presented to them and what was offered to them. But then when the stuff hit the fan, you the fall guy. You definitely got to know you going to be the fall guy. You see what I'm saying? So Yeah, man, that's just a few stories. I don't know if y'all, really rock with this, but I just wanted to give it to y'all because, like I say, I'm gonna give y'all the real. I'm gonna let you know what's going on. That's real life in prison that goes on in prison. Any women out there that's watching this, that's been in the system, they will testify. They will testify. It goes on. And I'm not saying every woman in there is like that because just like I told you, it's probably less of them than there are officers that's really trying to do their job or whatever. Then you even got more officers that just hate inmates just cause. You got all kinds in the prison. All kinds, man. You're going through all types of changes when you're in there. You're going through all types of personalities, all types of attitudes, all types of everything, man. It's just not the place to be. Period. It's not the place to be, my brother. Trust me. Yeah, you want to avoid it at all costs. Because even if you got to live like that, if that's the only satisfaction you can get, then that makes you feel like, whoa, you really did something, man. You already losing in the game, man. You already losing in the game. And I know when you drowning, anybody will take anything they can to stay afloat. But at the same time, just try not to be drowning, man. And when you in the penitentiary, guess what? You're drowning. You're in the middle of the ocean, man, surrounded by sharks, with no lifeboats or nothing in sight. That's what prison is. The middle of the ocean, drowning, looking for help. And there's nothing coming. Nothing. So, man, yeah, that's just a little something for y'all, man. I'm going to be popping more videos out to y'all real soon. I'm working on things, man. I know we missed a day, man. I try not to miss days. I try to bring y'all content every day. But at the same time, y'all got to show the love. Man, we got to get these numbers up, man. We got to get this message out there. We got to reach all these young folks. We got to let them know this ain't how you want to live. And guess what? This ain't how you got to live. All you got to do is be smart, be safe, and make good decisions. And you will never be in this position. And you can sit back and watch these stories and hear about other people that have been in this position. Unfortunately, you have to hear about people who's in this position trying to get out of this position. You out here in the free world, man. You got your life. You got your liberty. You got choices and chances every day. Make some good ones, man, and everything will work out for you. So, in the meantime, in between time, man, y'all tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. If you rock with me, then y'all need to come over here and check out this content. Subscribe, like, comment, talk to me. I got a feeling y'all gonna be talking to me in the comments about this video. I got a feeling y'all gonna be asking me some questions. And I got a feeling I know what type of questions they gonna be. But I appreciate you, man. I rock with y'all out there because y'all rock with me. I love y'all out there. Y'all spread the word, man. Let's get these numbers up. Make sure you like these videos. Make sure you comment. Make sure you are subscribed. Check your status. Make sure you put your notification bells on, man, so y'all can know when I'm getting ready to drop a video. And we're going to be right back at you in a minute, man. Y'all be safe, be smart, make good decisions. And duck them hooks, man. They everywhere. In the penitentiary, they are everywhere. Bang! Peace.
The Banky special. Yeah, pure delicious. Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.